Welcome back, everybody. My name is Joe, and this is Work Hard RC. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the new Injora Bug24 body for the SCX24 chassis. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so as we all know, the SCX is a very small chassis. It's made by Axial, and some of them are built from the ground up, which I have done with Injora. We'll do a video on that soon, all Injora parts. But I wanted to get an extra body because we're doing a special build, and I have a spare chassis now. So we're going to do a quick unboxing of this, see what's in the box. We're going to put it together. But before we get it all put together, we're going to give it a quick paint job to kind of make it unique. So in the box, you get a set of stickers. They're going to go on the outside of the body. And then you have your instruction manual on how it goes together. And again, this is the Bug24. And then you also have this in, I'm not sure this maybe is in a different language, but another set of instructions there. And then we have some pins there, or clips. We have some Velcro pieces, magnets, and mounting system there for the body to stay attached to your chassis. We also have a light bar. It does come with a light bar with wiring and everything, so it is functioning. And then, let me see if we have any other accessories in here. Let's go ahead and pull out other parts for the mounting system there. I believe that's for the rear. We have a really cool front bumper with everything to mount that. We have stickers for the door handles and the headlights. Then we also have the roll cage here, which is going to add some stability to the body. It is an Lexan body, so that'll add some stability to that. And then you also have your driver and interior, or driver seats and interior, which is a pretty cool little detail for such a small vehicle. And then we got the gray body. I didn't necessarily get the body because I wanted the gray. I knew I was going to be painting it anyways. I just got it because it was going to be coming to us a little bit quicker, and I wanted to do this video quicker or sooner than later, as I have, again, a chassis that we're building. So that is the body there. Cute little VW bug body, the Bug24. The paint on it does look pretty nice. And you do have the molded engine in the back. We may paint that for detail, we'll see. But overall, looks pretty cool. You have frosted windows there. So you won't get good detail as far as looking at the interior, but you can kind of take a look at it there. I do have some lights that I want at an event, so I may add some interior lighting, and again, we'll see this once it's painted. So before I put it together, I'm going to go ahead and paint this, and we'll come back and check out the paint job, and then we'll get it all put together, and then we'll go from there. So this is the body here. Very cool. We'll mount it onto the appropriate chassis here and take a look at it. And then once we have that all mounted up and done and painted, we'll take it out for a spin. So let's go ahead and put it together. All right, so we have our body painted. Came out pretty cool, or at least I think it came out pretty cool. I was doing a comic book type of look, so did some pink and white and other shades of pink to kind of get that look. Hopefully you guys can capture that a little bit in the camera and a little bit better once I get it all put together. But now that it's painted, let's go ahead and start to put it together. I haven't taken the film off of the windows yet. When I first mentioned it, I thought they were just frosted. That was just the film. Luckily for me, that really aided in painting because I didn't have to mask those off. I just trimmed around the part that was covered with the film. So at the end, I'll take that film off so I don't mess up the windows at the time for the time being. But overall, it came out pretty cool. Let's go ahead and start to put this together. So we're going to take, according to the instructions right here, we're going to basically put this onto the body. And I already pre-trimmed before I painted it the tops for the light bar because we are going to be putting the light bar on. I didn't allow too much space for this wiring, so I'm going to have to figure that out right now. But essentially, this body, once I have those mounts on, and I've installed that off camera, those two mounts with the screws there, and you'll see that on the instructions right here on number 2. Now the body, as far as the seats were already installed, I haven't painted that yet. I'll probably do that here a little bit later just for the sake of putting it together. We're going to put together with the seats on there in black. But Again, with those holes pre-drilled, those two mounts are going to just peek through the top of the roof just like that. And then you'll have two, let me see if I can get these to come out here. There we go. Oh, we lost the light bar mounts. You'll have these two pieces here that stick out from the back, just above the motor. And then what you'll do with that is you'll take the pins that are included, which are the clips. Let me see where those went. Oh, right here. They're very small, so I didn't necessarily see them, but it does come with quite a few of them. I'm not sure, maybe they come off easily or they get lost, but there is extra in the bag. So once you have those, you'll mount the body by inserting these pins into the hole here. Let's see if I can do that without scratching up the new paint. And again, I went with this color because my daughters wanted their own crawler. I do have another red cat that I'll be unboxing in the future, but this one I want to do a little bit different for them and just kind of show my daughter the ropes on crawling with this guy. Should have had her help me with her younger eyes. That might have been a little bit better idea. But again, it is really small, so you just gotta find that hole, insert the clip. Alright, so we have one installed there. And we're going to do the second one just on the other side. And again, these are really thin, really small clips. That one was a lot easier. So that is the body mounted to the roll cage. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how I can get the wiring for the lights. It looks like I can probably sneak the wires underneath. If I could do that, I might take this out again so I can zip tie it to the frame. But let's see if I can't remove these wires. I should probably take a picture of this so I don't forget how it looks. So if I can remove these from the plug, which I'm thinking I can, that'll allow me a little bit better leeway to get this 100%. I'll probably do this off camera so that you're not sitting here watching me struggle through this. So let me take this apart so I can run this wire and then we'll come right back. All right, so I had to take this back out, but I did manage to take the plug off. I'm gonna run the wires here, then we're gonna test fit with the roll cage to make sure that I can run the wires or the mount through that there. If not, I'll make a little more space with the Dremel here. But I think that might be enough space to get that through. Looks like it's going to work. All right. Looks like I probably should put that on the other side. Let's go ahead and pull this guy out. think that's going to do it there. Let's go ahead and just test fit this so I can run the zip ties around the roll cage so that we can get that fitted. So looks like a very tight squeeze there for this wiring. Might have to Dremel, just add a little bit of room on the opposite side. But once this is done, I shouldn't have to be taking that out again. So just add a little bit of space on the opposite side. Just want to do it slowly. And again, this is a painted body, so I'm going to be very careful. But even with the body not, or being stock, I would still be careful. Just need to trim just a little bit for that wire to sneak through. And then once you have this in, you won't really see that extra hole that you made, or that extra space, just because it gets kind of blends in with the black of the mount, so I wouldn't be worried about that. Let's see if we can run this through all together. All right, looks like that's going to work out there. All right, so we have the mounts through, and we have the light bar ready to be screwed in. I have to pull that wire down just a tad more. But it looks like I'll be able to get that hole to reach there. We're going to give you an idea of what that's going to look like there. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, but that is how you're going to get that through there. So let me finish this up. We'll be right back. All right, so we do have the light bar installed. It did take a little bit of finesse to get that through there, but we have the plug back onto the wiring, and we have the wire ran through the bottom. So we're gonna wait to see how this mounts to the body here in a little bit, and then we'll decide to where we're gonna mount the wires and zip tie it off so it's nice and clean. But so far, we have the roll cage installed onto the body, makes it a little more robust. Pretty cool, nice protection there for the engine. I do have to still paint the engine, but it is nice with that light bar on there. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step so that we can get moving on the install and then take it out for a quick drive and see how it looks. All right, so we have the body and everything ready to go as far as the chassis and what we're going to be putting it on. Now, we did pre-prep this with some custom beadlock wheels. We painted it knowing this color scheme that we're going to do for this. So you can see that kind of purplish pink there on the beadlocks to go along with the body. So it's a pretty good combination, I think. We'll see how it looks once it all goes together. But this is the chassis that we're going to be using. It is an Injora carbon fiber chassis. This is the low gravity or low center of gravity chassis that we have set up currently in this form. We just installed on the wiring, so I still got to tuck some of that in there and get it all nice and clean, but it should fit the body fine. We went ahead and installed this rear hinge already. That'll be in the box, so you'll see that. You'll just put 2 screws in there, and that'll move like that. You'll see the pins on either side. That's going to go onto the rear. Most of these chassis have those 2 holes in the back and in the front, so we're basically going to put that pin into the hole that's closer to like the center of the chassis, and then we're going to grab, I didn't grab them ahead of time, but we're going to grab a few screws. I'm going to prep those and load those onto our screwdriver here, and then we are going to go ahead and screw that in. Now, depending on what chassis you have, this will be a little bit different. We're using a Bronco chassis, which is a little bit shorter than the Gladiator, or quite a bit shorter than the Gladiator. So depending on what chassis you have will dictate where you mount this exactly. But on the most part, given the holes on the rear for the bumpers, if you guys have a bumper, is where you're going to be mounting this. So Once this is on and you have your screws in, you'll see that it'll act as a hinge, similar to like what the stock Bronco has. It'll open and close, just like that. So that's the first piece. And then we're going to go ahead and install the front bumper, which installs very similar to what we just put on with the little notch there going in the hole, and then with some screws. So let's go ahead and get that ready right now. At this point, it's very simple to install, and it does come with magnets, which we're going to go ahead and use. We're going to go ahead and glue them directly onto the body, and I'll show you those here in a second. We won't have any issues of the paint peeling or discoloring because of the fact that we painted on the outside of the body, so we won't have any of that glue showing through. So I'll be using super glue to get the magnet to stick. So we have one side there. Now I was in between if I was going to paint the bumpers to match the body, but I think the black kind of looks nice with the pink there. And my daughter, I'll be showing this to her hopefully when I get done here today. I think she's going to like it. I've been wanting to build her something that she can use when we go out and do some rock crawling. Her favorite color is purple, but I do have 3 girls, actually I have 4 girls, 3 of them, who are actually able to drive RC cars. One of them is just about a month old, so that pink, this pink buggy is going to be more for them to drive when we go out and about. So I think they're going to like it. Right now, this is for them to share. Eventually, we'll build each one their own. So this is the mount I was speaking about, and then you have the magnets here with the hole. With that, you're going to take in one of the bags, you have some screws. So take the screw that looks like that. We're going to put it through the hole in the magnet. I believe it has some spacers here. We'll grab one of those. And once we have that screw through the magnet, we're going to go ahead and stuck to our tool here. We're going to go ahead and screw that magnet, if we can do it, into this plate here. That's essentially going to mount onto our frame once we have it done. And then that will allow the body to stay closed in the front. The magnets are pretty strong, so I don't anticipate those are going to go anywhere. Let me see, this isn't going on the way I'd like it to. I'm not sure why. Probably because I'm using too small of a tool. So you do need a larger tool to get those to go in, so my fault on that. Once you have the right tool, then you'll get it to go in correctly. All right, so we have that magnet in place there. Then we're going to put the second magnet onto the outer hole next to that. In the same way, using the same screw and washer. Now this build that we have here in front of us is an entire Injora build with all the parts. There are a couple parts that are not Injora, like the wheels, and then we have a rear shock mount plate that is not Injora on this build. Or actually, maybe this one is Injora, but either way, it's a full Injora build. I'll be doing a full overview of the build here soon to show you all the parts that we have inside of it, and then how it functions. But so far so good. This thing is a little beast. So once you have those mounted there, you're going to essentially where you have your holes to mount it, we're going to use this top hole here. Now we'll have a little bit of back and forth play, but not too much. And then we're going to space it from that second hole from the bottom into that top hole there. And again, if you have a shock tower on your stock SCX24, you use that. Given I don't have a stock mounting or a stock tower, we won't be using that anymore. So we're going to be using this. And once we have this in, I think that's on the second one there. Yep. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. And again, this will have a little bit of, on my build, a little bit of play back and forth, but it shouldn't cause any issues for me. So once that's there and tight, we're going to put the other magnets on top, and I'll add some glue to it, and then we'll close the body. And then once that's closed, the pieces that we glue on will stay glued. We do have some of this wiring we kind of have to tuck over a little bit. Actually, if I tuck this on the back side, again, like I said, this is a newer build. I just put it together, finished it today. We have another build similar like this in the Gladiator, which doesn't have as many, it's a lot longer, so you have more room. This one doesn't have as much room as that one, so we'll run into a little bit of issues there, but essentially it does close right there. So what we're going to do is put, let me see if this is enough room here. I probably could have gone higher. Well, let me see. I kind of want to test fit that too. So here is where the body is, and we want it to close. Looks like I have some things kind of keeping it from closing down the way I had tested it initially. Let me see if I can figure out what that is here. It's probably going to be my, it's going to be this piece right here that's keeping it from closing the way I'd like to. But I think with those magnets glued on, it's going to hold. So I'm going to go ahead and put the magnets on, add some glue, and then we'll get it to close there. So what I'm going to do is basically take the other magnets that it comes with, stick those on top, like so. So those are mounted there. And then I'm going to take some glue and put it on top, and then we'll get that to stay there. Let me grab my glue. Now again, I didn't paint this, or using the paint that was on it, so me putting this on the inside isn't going to affect the way the paint looks on the outside. So we're going to put a drop there, and a drop there. Now, some folks put magnets on the outside to hold it closed, which I probably should. Actually, let me see if I have some spare magnets so I can do that. All right, we got these magnets here. Let's go ahead and set this back down. See if we can get this to stick. All right, so it looks like these magnets are going to work. We're just waiting for that glue to set, but so far, this is the build. I do have the film still to take off of the windows. So we'll take off here in a little bit and take a final look at the build, but it looks really, really awesome. Now, again, that's probably because of the paint, but just its small stature, how low it is, should make for a really cool time when you're out and about crawling with it. I do really enjoy the look of it. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's wait for that to dry. We'll come back and take a look at it when it's all put together. All right, so that concludes the installation of the Bug24 by Injora. The price of this little bad boy is $33.99. I will be linking it in our description if you guys want to pick one up. Now, again, this was gray. It does come in clear, gray, and orange. I had planned to paint it, so we went ahead and just went with the gray, but I think it looks really cool given what it is. A little bug, really nice on that off-road setup. Again, this build is entirely Injora on the most part, with the exception of the wheels and a few other pieces, but on the most part, all Injora parts now with the body to complete it. So really cool, really fun, looks really awesome. We'll take it out and do some videos with it here in the future. And again, we'll do a breakdown of our full build on this with all the internals. But a lot of fun, looks really nice. And for $33.99, you can't really beat the upgrade if you want to change how your car looks. So really fun. I did enjoy it, and I hope you guys liked it. If you guys did, please remember to subscribe, comment with any questions you guys have. And again, we have a tutorial if you guys want to do a paint job similar to this that's in our YouTube feed as well. So take a look at that if you guys are interested. So a lot of fun again. Hope you guys liked it. We'll see you guys next time.